Hello and welcome to Uzreport World News, and my name is Bahram Gafarov. Uzbekistan has begun phase 3 clinical trials of a recombinant vaccine against coronavirus ZF2001 manufactured by the Chinese company Anhui Jifei Longcom Biopharmaceutical. At present, along with the formation of the list of receivers, the selected volunteers are being offered a single vaccine. Volunteers will be vaccinated with just 3 doses of vaccine during the trial period. Participation in the trial is voluntary. The test duration will be 14 months and will continue until January 2022. As a part of humanitarian assistance in the fight against COVID-19, the organizers of the Solidarity with Uzbekistan campaign purchased 2 oxygen stations via the assistance of non-state charitable foundation Ezgu Amal. The equipment was bought at the expense of charitable funds and a grant to EBRD staff allocated to support the campaign.
The stations will be installed in the Samarkand Regional Children's Medical Center and the Nukus Center for Emergency Medical Aid, as these medical institutions were selected as the most in need of the clinical provisions. Patients in need of artificial lung ventilation will be provided with an uninterrupted oxygen by the stations with a capacity of 10 cubic meters per hour. The stations are planned to be launched in January 2021.
The United Nations Development Programme has visited Karachi, Pakistan for the analysis of ongoing projects, as the Autonomous Republic has been hosting the delegation comprised of Uzbek ambassadors to 40 countries, the heads of diplomatic missions and permanent representatives of Uzbekistan to international organizations.
The delegation of representatives toured the districts to witness the large-scale work carried out by the government with the support of international organizations, donors and development partners including UNDP. On the 23rd of December, the delegates attended the commissioning ceremony of a new water cleaning plant and supply network. Related reconstruction works have been carried out within the framework of the UNDP project, solving urgent problems of human security in the RLC region by promoting sustainable rural development. It was funded by the UN Multi-Partner Trust Fund for Human Security. Around 200 rural residents have been provided with access to clean drinking water under this initiative.
The Republic of Korea has contributed $1 million to the UN Multi-Partner Human Security Trust Fund for the RLC region in Uzbekistan, within the framework of the agreement signed between the Government of Republic of Korea and the Foundation's office in New York on December 17.
According to the fund, the money will be used to assist the population of the RLC region in improving their socio-economic conditions, health and well-being. The South Korean government will also provide a $5.56 million worth grant through the Global Green Growth Institute within the framework of the multilateral development project of the Korean International Cooperation Agency in the RLC region. The trust fund, under the auspices of the United Nations, was established at the end of 2018. The first country donor to the fund was Norway, which contributed $1.1 million in 2019. In March 2020, the European Union provided €5 million to finance the fund's projects. Finland joined the donor list in June. The government of Uzbekistan transferred $3.5 million to the fund.
The Committee to Protect Journalists was pleased to know that Uzbekistan abolished the imprisonment law for the libel, but was alarmed by the new punishment for disseminating false information. The international organization thinks it may negate all positive reforms in the Republic.
On December 15th, Uzbek legislators have adopted a law on administrative and criminal liability for disseminating false information in the media and the internet. According to this new legal document, a law violator may be punished up to $2,000 and $6,000 in case of a criminal repeat, or up to 3 years in jail. CPJ's Europe and Central Asia Program Coordinator Gulnoza Saeed warned that the new amendments run counter to democratic practices that guarantee freedom of the press and freedom of speech. If Uzbekistan wants to convince everyone that it is becoming more democratic, the proposed amendments to spread false information should be scrapped, says the coordinator.
Japan has donated approximately $7.3 million worth road construction equipment to Uzbekistan as part of the government's economic and social development program. Japanese Ambassador Yoshinori Fujiyama and Deputy Minister of Transport, Chairman of the State Committee for Roads of Uzbekistan, Abdurrahman Abduvaliev, held handover ceremony of road construction equipment.
According to the Japanese embassy in Tashkent, 16 units of road repair equipment made in Japan, including 1 road stabilizer, 2 vibration single drum rollers, 3 vibration tandem rollers, 4 rollers with pneumatic tires and other machineries, will be delivered to rural areas of Sirdarya, Jizak, Khorasan provinces and Karakalpakstan. It is expected that the use of the new machineries will help to improve the process of road construction works in these provinces and reduce their duration.
Uzbekistan is expanding cooperation with the UN's 3 agencies. These are Food and Agriculture Organization, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the World Food Programme.
In November 2020, Uzbekistan was elected the chair country of the AFO Regional Conference for Europe for the next 2 years. It was noted that the priorities for comprehensive expansion of cooperation with the AFO, IFAD and WFP were identified and the relevant roadmap was approved. The staff list of the Uzbekistan's embassy to Italy has been amended. The ambassador was appointed the permanent representative of Uzbekistan to the agencies on a rotating basis. In this capacity, he shall coordinate all the issues related to Uzbekistan's cooperation with these organizations. The document took effect on November 16, 2020.
FAO representation in Uzbekistan, together with the Association of Uzbekistan Beekeepers, held a meeting to discuss an innovative information exchange system that's being designed within the framework of FAO Technical Cooperation Program, Support to Sustainable Agriculture Development.
In order to support the government's ongoing efforts in the beekeeping sector, the program seeks to advance the capacity of the newly created apicultural educational programs, as well as the Association of Uzbekistan Beekeepers, through a series of trainings based on the international experience. The project envisages the information exchange system developed exclusively for beekeepers to help them in accessing all the necessary educational and statistical information. It will also include data on the location of colonies owned by each beekeeper, which will be reflected on a special map. In addition, the new system will provide early pesticide warnings in order to prevent honey bee losses, so that beekeepers would be able to take needed actions.
The role of women in Central Asia was hotly debated within the framework of Dialogue of Women Leaders of Central Asian States. The first of its kind video conference was held on Wednesday.
The event was attended by representatives of 5 Central Asian countries, heads of the UN Regional Center for Preventive Diplomacy for Central Asia and the UNDP Regional Bureau for Europe and the CIS. The Republic of Uzbekistan was represented by the chair of the Senate of the Oliy Majlis Tanzila Narbayeva. The meeting discussed women's role in state and public affairs, implementation of reforms carried out to ensure gender equality, protect the rights and the interests of women. Narbayeva noted that the priority directions of Uzbekistan's policy is to ensure gender equality in the country. The fact that women are assigned the most responsible positions testifies to the great trust and respect of the president towards them. Effective work to ensure gender equality, improve the role of women in Uzbekistan was highly appreciated by all participants of the event. In this regard, at the suggestion of the head of the UNRCCA, the chairmanship of the Dialogue of Women Leaders of Central Asia in 2021 was entrusted to the head of the Senate of the Oliy Majlis Tanzila Narbayeva.
We've taken back control of our laws and our destiny.
Some are calling it Merry Brexmas, as the UK and EU finally struck a Brexit trade agreement on Thursday. Talks on a deal went down to the wire, with the UK due to leave the single market and customs union at the end of the month. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, the face of the pro-Brexit campaign, urged Britain to move on from the divisions caused by the 2016 referendum.
This afternoon that we have completed the biggest trade deal yet, a deal that will protect jobs across this country, a deal that will allow goods, UK goods and components to be sold without tariffs and without quotas in the EU market.
European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen described the milestone as bittersweet.
At the end of a successful negotiations journey, I normally feel joy. But today, I only feel quite satisfaction and, frankly speaking, relief. I know this is a difficult day for some, and to our friends in the United Kingdom, I want to say, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Without the collective might of the EU, the UK will stand largely alone and much more reliant on the US when negotiating with China, Russia, and India. It will have more autonomy but be poorer, at least in the short term. Many aspects of Britain's future relationship with the EU remain to be hammered out, possibly over years. The deal will avert the prospect of both sides imposing widespread import taxes come January 1st. The deal also covers issues such as security, transport, and energy. But even with a deal, businesses will face new red tape and new costs. Most economists, however, say the alternative of a no-deal exit looked much worse.
Starting Monday, all airline passengers arriving to the U.S. from the United Kingdom will be required to present a negative COVID-19 test taken within 72 hours of their flight's departure. That's according to a statement issued Thursday by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, amid concerns about a new coronavirus variant that may be more transmissible. The decision was a shift from Tuesday's White House disclosure to airlines that it was not planning to implement the testing requirement. But earlier on Thursday, airline companies United and Delta had already said they would require a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours for passengers arriving to the U.S. from the UK. The British Embassy in Washington did not immediately comment. The CDC's announcement follows the emergence of a new COVID-19 variant in Britain that has prompted over 40 countries to ban UK passengers from entering. The order will be signed on Friday and take effect on Monday.
Herd immunity against COVID-19 could require vaccination rates approaching as high as 90%, according to top U.S. infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci, who on Thursday admitted that he had increased his earlier estimates. Fauci's revised figure came in a New York Times interview on Thursday, his 80th birthday. Meanwhile, the country continues to mark grim new milestones, with more than 3,000 coronavirus deaths reported for the second consecutive day. According to Reuters data, the nationwide death toll was over 326,000 by midnight on Wednesday, the same day that saw more Americans fly than on any other day since the pandemic emerged in March. Over 1.1 million passengers passed through airport checkpoints 2 days before Christmas, according to the U.S. Transportation Security Administration. Wednesday's airport traffic exceeded the prior high set during the pandemic on November 29th, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, meaning many Americans disregarded the advice of public health experts who warned against holiday gatherings. Top health officials believe that those who traveled and gathered indoors for Thanksgiving contributed to the latest explosion in cases. Most Americans have been told it could be 6 months or more before they are eligible for coronavirus vaccine.
Parisian shoppers hit festive markets this year despite COVID-19. Shrimp, oysters and turkeys were out on display like any other Christmas Eve. And shop owners at Paris's popular Moubert market say they haven't noticed a drop in food sales compared to last year. But this year, as France continues to struggle with rising coronavirus cases, the government has handed out restrictions. Families have been advised to keep gatherings to a maximum of 6 adults and maintain social distancing. Whether people, like shopper Olivier, will abide by the rules is another matter.
No, actually, first of all, I'll be an outlaw tonight. There'll be more than 6 of us, and I don't plan to eat in the kitchen with my wife, even if I am the oldest one at the table.
Health worker Estelle says she will do what she's told.
Instead of all getting together on Sunday, some will come tonight and others on the next day, and then there'll be others that we won't see or that we will see outside in the garden.
France has the 5th highest number of coronavirus cases in the world, and this month French President Emmanuel Macron tested positive for the virus. On Christmas Eve, France's medical regulators said it had approved the vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech. France plans to start its vaccination program on December 27th.
Ski slopes in Austria cautiously reopened on Christmas Eve for a brief period ahead of a third lockdown about to come into force. The resort of Semmering is a favourite among skiers from the capital Vienna and enjoyed a decent trade on the first day of opening. With hotels and tourist accommodation closed, the slopes were mostly covered with mask-clad day trippers. It's far from a normal experience though, with restaurants and ski huts also closed until the 7th of January. Meaning visitors, including Andre Hoffer, having to go without their traditional ski slope hot drinks.
You cannot get a punch or a mild wine. That is missing. But when the group of the people is nice, you have the same fun.
Many ski resorts became breeding grounds for the coronavirus during the first wave of infections. Particle filtering masks must now be worn inside all ski lifts, and social distancing is in strict enforcement. There isn't much time to enjoy the slopes though, with Austria re-entering lockdown on December the 26th.
So far, these were the latest news for today. Goodbye. Take care.